about direct engagement with clients? I mean, we already talked about some ways you're getting it, right? Okay. So you get it through all of the prospect features. Let's talk about one of them. Have you used messaging? That's one of them. I wondered, have you guys ever used messaging on Google Business Profile? Messaged a customer? They maybe left you a message or messaged you or said something and you messaged them back. They got a messaging service.
I didn't know that feature was there.
I didn't either, John, until I went and looked it up myself, and I was going over all of Google Business Profile again because, it's a feature du jour. Okay, everything's something new each day. How about a Q&A? Okay, they apparently have a Q&A, and you can make posts. Okay, so that's it. So here's some other things. Okay, could you answer questions? Okay, so how many people on the internet, and if you're a member of Home Inspector Help, we give you, there's questions they ask on everything. They ask it on radon, they ask it on any service, pool and spa, everything you want to know. We have questions that we've pulled from the internet that customers are asking, home buyers are asking. So we can get you that if you can't find it. So how about answering a question? So a question comes up, you see it's cool, and you see it, several times. One of the people ask about is black mold. They want to know about mold. They want to know if it's harmful to them. And there's about 15 or 20 phrases they search for. And in the old days, there was almost 1 million searches a month for those. So if you do mold or indoor air quality, and a question came up, I would think I'd be answering on Google Business Profile, wouldn't y'all? A little blog post on that.
So are those questions specifically asked in my Google account? Or are they questions that are asked globally somewhere and I'm just posting an answer to it?
These will be globally. People can ask you questions on your account, but globally, think about this for a minute. So you say, well, that's not that good because it's global. It's not my local market and I'm a local business needing local business. But guess what? Google, did you guys know this? They read your IP address, so they know where you are, right? Every second, unless you're using a service, then they know right where you are. Okay, so what happens is when a searcher in your market types in that question and you have a response to that on Google Business Profile or your blog or whatever, guess what happens? They show the most current response. Now you see it. Local customers are seeing your local work. That wasn't true before. Okay, that's been a while since they've done that. That's one enhancement. Okay, so on your post, you can answer questions. Okay, so that's a good thing. You can say, hey, the other day I got asked this question, and I see that a lot of people are searching on the internet, so let me give you some feedback on it. Boom, an answer. Okay, and I would be answered on Google Business Profile too, every time. Okay, how about provide quotes? Okay, anybody ever call you from Google Business Profile and want a quote? Every day they call you. I bet we can prove on your numbers. People, you got direct calls coming directly from Google Business Profile and ask you for quotes. Okay, so you can, they'll call you and ask for the quotes. They'll call you right there. How about, here's the beautiful thing about Google Business Profile, guys. This is one of the top things about it. Okay, you establish connections with that prospect before they ever come to your website. They've read your reviews. They've looked at your photos. They may have read your blog posts. They've looked at all of the account information you have on there. I bet they know a lot about you, don't they? Then they come to your website and guess what happens? They say, you know what, this is the right person for me. Boom. I want to say they're pseudo pre-sold, right? Yeah. They've learned all that. I go to a workshop and people come in there and say, hey, Ken, I'm new. I said, great. And they said, I feel like I know you. And I said, well, that's awesome. And tell me how that works. And they said, I watched every video that you had on YouTube. Okay. You know what happened? They were pre-sold. They were pre-sold on me. I'd never talked to them. Okay. Can we pre-sell your prospects from having a complete Google Business Profile with all the components that we talked about? I think we can.
Yep.
So what do you guys think? John, what do you think? I mean, this might be worth, there's some things that you need to do, but the rest of it's done by us. But for you, the better photographs, asking those questions for better reviews, thinking about this, that, and the other. There's a lot of little things you guys can help us with. Now, if we don't do it for you, there's a lot of things for you to do.
How do we increase the footprint, the the local area, I mean, I get in my town, in the 2 towns or 3 towns right next to me, I get great in the 3-pack. But if you get out a couple towns, which are areas I work, I start falling to the bottom. How do we increase the footprint in the
Who
3-pack?
wants, and who wants to take that? Beth, me, Dale, you?
Well, in order to be able to show up in those towns and cities, and I think one time we talked to you, it seems like either I did or Dale did or we did, about geotag photos.
Yeah,
So
we've
if you
done
take
some of
the-
that.
Yeah, if you go to a city that you're not showing up well in, get a couple of photos, like if you do a home inspection there, get a couple photos, make sure they're geotagged, give them to us and we'll get them out there and that will help you tremendously. But, you know, to just have a few things about those outside cities and somebody else is in those cities and they've got a lot more stuff than you, it's hard for you to overcome them.
So geotag photos do they have to be crazy photos or can it be just the front of the house?
Yeah,
Anything.
it could be in front of the house, it could be an issue you found out.
Obviously, the better the photo, the more engaging it is to the customer.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Please don't
Yep.
don't geotag your truck.
But just leave your locations enabled when you're at the inspection. I keep mine disabled all the time, but if you do that, just when you go to the inspection, enable it, and then when you leave, just disable it.
So,
But that
John,
way your photos are geotagged. We can do that. We talked about this today on a call with a client. We can geotag them, but they're not as good as having the actual photo geotagged.
so here's
So-
another way too. I know you have an Instagram account. Okay, I know you do. You might not deal with it much. Okay, but you can do a quick Instagram reel and geotag that from the inspection site. So if you guys are really thinking about that, you can geotag that Instagram reel and you will get a boatload more search from that area. Okay, so they're now Instagram is allowing you to do these things and they're actually encouraging you if you want to be shown up for if you're a local business and you want to get a service area, geotag your reels from Instagram. Okay, and there's a lot of other ways that you can do it, but Google, shows the inspectors closest to the searcher. And that they might not be the best inspector, they might be the worst inspector, but Google doesn't know that. That's the only running an algorithm off of it. So geotagging is certainly a way to do it. And then what happens is we have services pages on your website and we have all of those types of things. So so it's not as easy for you to show up in the 3-pack in cities further away than it is. Now, we've had some clients that just changed cities. They just wanted to go to a bigger city. And so they work in that area and they forsook the area in which they're in and just worked for the bigger city. Getting showing up in there. But Google, remember, they still are looking IP address. How close am I? How close am I? So that's a big thing. So geotagging your photos and your Instagram reels. I want to do more Instagram reels. Do anybody do Instagram reels now? Do you guys do it now? Anybody? Chad? No.
I didn't know I had Instagram until you just told me.
Yeah, no.
John, you might not because
you have Instagram.
you've been around a lot longer, but some of the newer clients have Instagram now.
Yeah,
Because-
so we have Instagram, but the fact of the matter is that the reels are just a quick one, just hey, how are you doing, whatever, you're just talking about something hopefully relevant, but we geotag those things that really come up, and then you can set up a carousel of all the things and people are seeing it. So it's more of a younger person thing, but I'm telling you, people are buying houses, and I'll tell you, Jacques in Rashima, Jacques Mountain, he's killing it with Instagram. I mean, he works, specific communities, and he's talking about things that are going on in that community, and he's interviewing realtors, and he's talking about crazy inspections. You'll see something on inspection, he'll stop and come outside and talk about it, and it's being geotagged and all that, and he's crushing it with it, Instagram. So, there's other ways for us to do it, but that's a hard thing, when if there was no location qualifier with Google, then we could probably get around that. But
Real
I wanna go
quickly,
back- Okay,
if you're going to do a video at the inspection, make sure your locations are on.
yes.
Because video will also be geotagged.
Yep. So let's go back to this. I just don't want to miss this point. And this is why I put it in red and I underlined this. People trust what other people say about you more than what you say about yourself. You guys all know that. Okay. So when we can pre-sell them, if we can get that prospect pre-sold by looking at that Google business profile, before they come to your website, we have got a leg up big time. Because my goal for you guys is people not to say, how much does it cost? My goal by pre-selling is for them, and them looking at your website, is to say, when can you come out? And when they say, when can you come out, price becomes a secondary consideration. Okay, so by pre-selling, getting all of these components and pieces right on Google My Business profile, then what happens is we get more customers to say, when can you come out? And not, how much does it cost? Or can you give me a quote? Okay, so that's just so critical. And by getting these things done that you can do it,